Traditional slide toppers are fabric around a roller that comes out over the top of the slide when it opens up. But there are lots of problems with those, including flapping in the wind, wearing out of fabric, and pooling of water. We have a completely different type of slide topper mechanism here that we showed in our intro to our rig. But today we're going to show you more about how it works, how it gets installed, and what it does. Stay tuned. The big problem with slide toppers in general that have been around since the slide was invented almost is that they don't look so great on the outside of the RV. They look kind of clunky, but also most manufacturers tend to mount them level, which means that when it rains on them, they pool water, which makes them sag and stretch. Also, flapping in the wind is a big problem. A lot of people complain about the sound they make whenever it gets kind of windy out. Now, we solved that problem with the wind with our old RV by switching to better fabric from Tough Top Awnings. So this is a true topper. It's completely different than any other type of slide topper. To show you how this works, I'm going to use the remote control to extend the slide room. And what you'll see is as the slide comes out, the true topper flips up out of the way and allows the flat top of the slide to simply come out without any roller, no fabric, no nothing. And that exposes the top of the slide. So if you're in the woods and you have leaves and other debris that fall on top, they're just going to land there. Now, typically there are two ways that RVs come. Either no slide topper at all or a traditional fabric one. This is kind of in between. The top is exposed, but here's where this comes into play. When we put it in, there are two wipes on here, kind of a firm one and a softer one. And the firm one in the front, right underneath here, pushes leaves, sticks, pine cones, other debris off of here, and any large volume of water that might be pooled up here. The one in the back is softer, and that's like a squeegee, and it'll squeegee off excess water. So when it closes, everything comes off it. This curved piece of metal right here is what secures the true topper down when we close it. So I'm going to put it back in, and you'll see as it goes, if there were anything on top here, it would be pushing it off the edge, completely sweeping it across the top. This ramp here is part of the installation, and that allows any debris to go right off the edge. And the flap folds down, completely seals this, and then locks tight to the side of the RV. It's one of those things that you think, why didn't someone think of this sooner? Well, True Topper did. Now, the big thing about this is that it has to be installed, and it is not a DIY job. We went to their factory in Coburg, Oregon, and had it installed there, but they do have some certified installers around the country. We'll put a link to True Topper's website down below so you can find out if there's one in your area, or maybe you want to make the trip up to the Pacific Northwest and have it done while you're there. So the main reason this isn't a DIY project is because, in case you haven't noticed, there isn't any top flange here on the slide, only on the sides. Well, it came from the factory, as most of them do, with a flange that sticks out all the way around, not just on the sides. And the first thing that True Topper is going to do is the most unnerving, and that is they're going to take a circular saw and they're going to saw through the fiberglass here and completely cut that flange off the top of the slide. Now, we admit we were a little nervous, but since we'd had friends who'd already had this done and we'd read lots of other reviews from others who'd had it done, we weren't worried. And we watched how carefully the staff at True Topper measured exactly where to cut. They measured several times. They have a guide that they put against the saw to make sure they can't accidentally saw in the wrong position. It's exactly right. And after they've cut that top off, they put a ramp on top here. And this piece right here was put on so that when the sweep pushes water and debris across the top of the slide, it can go right up this little ramp and fall off the side. And it's perfectly smooth up here. It doesn't have any trouble pushing things off. We've been in the forest already several times. We've tested by throwing things on top of here like sticks and pine cones to see what would happen. Everything is smoothly pushed off every time. The careful workmanship they do to fit this in so it's just like an original factory installation is really something to watch. They take great care with it. They have a lot of experience, and it was clear what they were doing was really expert, and we understood why we would never do this ourselves. After they put this ramp down, they carefully seal the edges, they seal the inside, and the front is completely watertight. And this entire surface here is impervious to rain and other debris, just like any other slide that doesn't have a slide topper on it. Now, if you're thinking a regular slide topper keeps all the water off the top and this won't, well, that's not exactly true. We've had traditional slide toppers on 3 of our 4 slide outs on our last RV. And anytime there was enough wind to make the slide toppers flap a little, sure enough, there'd be a puddle underneath that would get below the edge. It's gonna happen no matter what if there's wind. So getting water on top of here is not a big deal. So it's not raining today, so to demonstrate how well this wipes water off the top, we're gonna get a hose and we're gonna spray the top of the slide and cover this with water and get it good and wet. And then we're gonna close the slide and look inside and show not only how much water is swept off here, but how much less there is on the inside. Now, it won't get it 100% dry. There will still be a thin film. You'll see that it's wet. But the most important thing is not to have what we call a slide out flood, which means that there's a big puddle up there, and when we start driving, it comes pouring off onto the carpet or furniture or floor. This will get off all but a thin layer of dampness on top and make sure that you're not going to have a puddle and a big flood inside. All the water was squeegeed off except a little thin film, and we can see we have one tiny piece of a leaf sitting here, but everything else was cleanly squeegeed off the top of the slide, and there isn't any water here that would run off and land on carpet, floor, or furniture. We've been using the True Topper long enough that we have real confidence in it. We've put it to the test and tried to make it leak. We purposely threw pine needles and pine cones and debris, sticks, and things all over the top of the slide. Nothing has come inside except 1 or 2 occasional pine needles can slip through. If you want to really try to get something new, different, and we think better than any slide topper we've ever seen, the True Topper is it. We love it. We have a special discount that we've arranged with True Topper. We'll put a link down below and also on our website, RVgeeks.com, where you can go and get a discount when you schedule and have installed your own True Topper on your rig. Now, it's not available for every single type of slide out on the market. They're continuing to increase their options for the type of slide it'll fit on, and most of the popular slides out there, it will work. If you're really, really nervous about the idea of having the top of your slide room cut off, you still can do the traditional method of replacing your fabric, but don't put on original equipment fabric. It's the stuff that failed you in the first place. Go to Tough Top Awnings. We offer a discount there too. Again, we'll put a link down below for the Tough Top Awnings RV Geeks discount. But if you want to go for something we think is a better mousetrap, better than any slide topper we've ever seen, check out True Topper. We think you'll love it as much as we do. Safe travels, and thanks for watching.